In the realm of video game reviews, controversy and skepticism are rampant. I've often heard allegations that game reviewers are swayed by payments from developers or publishers to deliver positive scores. This suspicion is widespread in gaming communities, where I've seen numerous discussions questioning the integrity of professional reviews. Major gaming companies like EA and Bungie are frequently accused of buying high scores, a claim that resonates with many gamers. On various gaming forums, I've noticed a growing disillusionment with mainstream game critics. It's apparent that critics sometimes praise or criticize games in ways that starkly contrast with the fanbase's reaction. This discrepancy makes me question the trustworthiness of these critics. A common theme in these discussions is the indirect influence game companies wield through advertising and early access to games. For example, I've seen gaming sites that might hesitate to give a negative review if they depend heavily on advertising from game developers. The threat of being blacklisted or denied early access to games can also subtly influence a reviewer's opinion. Delving deeper into the YouTube gaming review landscape, I've observed an inherent conflict of interest when reviewers receive copies of games for free. This practice seems to place the reviewer within the publisher's marketing campaign, potentially compromising their objectivity. Even efforts to remain unbiased can be influenced by the desire to maintain access to early review copies. I believe the practice of receiving review copies creates a subtle bias. Reviewers might unconsciously alter their content to be more favorable or less critical. This issue seems systemic and not necessarily due to any malicious intent on the part of reviewers. Now, let's consider the significant impact that Metacritic scores have on a game's market performance. I've seen how a low score can lead to lost sales, further incentivizing publishers to maintain good relationships with reviewers. I find the justification that this practice is standard across industries unconvincing, as long-standing unethical practices do not make them acceptable. I've thought of several solutions, such as marking all reviews with early access as sponsored content, or legally mandating game companies to provide review copies to anyone who meets a certain threshold. However, I recognize the impracticality of these solutions. Ultimately, I believe the most ethical approach would be for reviewers to purchase games themselves, thereby disconnecting from the influence of game publishers. Reflecting on the ethical implications of personal relationships between reviewers and game developers, I realize the complex nature of integrity in game journalism. From my observations across various platforms and insights from YouTube videos, it's clear that the gaming review industry is grappling with ethical challenges. The influence of game companies, whether direct or indirect, casts a shadow over the credibility of game reviews. While finding solutions is complex, the need for transparency and integrity is crucial in ensuring honest and unbiased game journalism.